What's going on, YouTube? It's Big Brother 749 coming back at you with another video. I was just thinking as we're going through this trial of Derek Chauvin, the officer who killed George Floyd, that today is the anniversary that Dr. King was assassinated. And Dr. King is probably turning his grave right now because of race relations, and I wonder how he would react if he was still here today. Because this man would probably be in his 90s now, just an angry old man, just seeing how things are. Because whenever you turn on the TV, it's all about race. Everything's about race now. It's all over TV, it's all over the news, and it's all over the world. And there's still brothers out here getting murdered by cops, brothers still killing each other. And I was just thinking about Dr. King's message when he said he had a dream. And shortly after his dream was coming true, something that he never, unfortunately, got to see. Because things were actually getting better. I mean, racism was always around, it will always exist in some shape or form. But I want to talk about how race relations in America will always be what it is, because Dr. King is no longer here and there'll never be anyone else like him to bring racial equality to the country. Because back in '08, I voted for Barack Obama and we were excited to see the first black president. We liked the thought of having that. And a lot of us thought that that'll improve race relations, and we thought Obama was going to be another Dr. King, the Dr. King of politics, but it seemed like that did the opposite. And it did seem that way because under the Obama administration, it started with Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman getting off, and this would continue on to this day because, of that digital age, it seems like everybody was showing their true colors, being exposed for doing and saying racist shit. And I felt Dr. King was the answer, the only solution to bring racial equality here in America. Because, like I said, there's brothers out here getting murdered, and I'm not talking about the ones who resisted arrest, but the innocent ones like George Floyd by cops and getting off. And we got our issues too. It ain't just white people. Like, we have Black Lives Matter. They have their faults by burning and tearing down their own neighborhoods during the riots, and a disrespectful tribute to King in Washington back in January. And just the fact that we bring each other down, like the fact that a brother can get more respect getting out of jail, more so than a brother who's disrespected by other black people, all because he went to school. He wanted to better himself, got his education, moved out the hood, got a good job, when that was the main purpose for all those marches, for us to have equal opportunities just as much as whites. And I think King really wanted racial equality and opportunity more so than racial unity, because I don't think anybody could ever make folks love each other when they really don't want to. And racists don't have to unify, but we do have to respect each other, because we live in a world where racist, illiterate police officers like Derek Chauvin become cops, not because they give a damn about the community, but because of their ego, their sense of pride, and their bragging rights. And they want to feel a sense of power and abuse their authority and want to be seen as untouchable. Plus how we do each other in the midst of that. And this is sad because even in this digital age with us millennials and Gen Zs, we're still seeing race riots and protests. And I think Dr. King would feel like we failed him as a nation because this wasn't what he wanted at all. I mean, yeah, it's not as bad as the 50s and 60s, but we can still definitely do better. And this is the best the country would ever be at this point. And far as today, I think Dr. King will be outraged and offended about how his teachings have been distorted. And I think he'll be appalled at these cops. He fought for good black people being mistreated. He fought against violence, and it'll bother him greatly to see how the court justice system is corrupt by letting these crooked cops right off the hook. And I don't think he'll like the riots either, because King, he was a peaceful protester. He wasn't the violent type, and he was the type that believed that two wrongs don't make a right. And the last time things were beneficial for us as far as social issues was in the 80s when Congress passed a bill institutionalizing Dr. King's birthday. It became a federal national holiday. And I know conservatives want to give credit to Ronald Reagan or Martin Luther King Day when he was against it at first and didn't want nothing to do with it at first. Because Republicans, they love taking credit for things that they were against for decades, almost as much as they love denying that they were responsible for all their failed policies. And Reagan only signed a bill because it was veto-proof majority from both houses. Big ups to the Democrats. And Dr. King is the only American to have his own day, and he was just a civil rights leader. Even presidents such as Washington and Lincoln no longer have their own celebrated holiday. Now it's just called President's Day. And I don't think it was racist to make King's birthday a national holiday, because This is a celebration of a man who tried to solve social injustice problems, and that's always something to celebrate. And everyone of all races of America to this day and forever is going to benefit from King Holiday because they get a paid day off from work and children are off from school. It's not just a black holiday. And I know some folks who still have to work on King Holiday, but if it wasn't for King, we wouldn't be able to work. We wouldn't be working. So we got to be appreciative that we at least get to go to work. I always try to put a positive spin on things. But like I say around the 90s, that's when we started to see a decrease. There was a more racial division again socially because of the whole Rodney King, the LA riots, the gangster rap, and everything up to now. And there was so much racial hate and race relations, set us back 50 years. And Dr. King's peaceful legacy of brotherhood had been trampled all over. But race relations have gotten worse, since, such as blacks not getting justice, after getting killed by cops, and how the black community is down the gutter. I mean, we will never have another Dr. King to improve the current situation that we're in. I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe Biden is doing a good job getting the country back where it needs to be. But I'm talking hypothetically if Derek Chauvin doesn't get convicted. But, Dr. King, he did his part, but it's up to us to want to change. It is what it is. But I really hope that Derek Chauvin gets convicted. And in some way, I have a feeling he will be, because it's obvious that he's guilty. And I don't understand the point of this trial. I mean, it's a waste of time, and they need to just throw him in the slammer so George Floyd can get some justice, which will help Dr. King's legacy as well. But that's all I want to say, folks. This is Big Brother 749 signing out. I'm out. Peace.